So, welcome to English Lovers by Honeydee. I'm just checking the clarity of the video first. Then we will continue with the session, and I'm just checking it out. Uh, how swift my Wi-Fi is working. I'm just checking it out. I'm gonna share the link of my Zoom class along with the YouTube session link on first of all Facebook, and I think if I will be able to actually log into my Instagram account, I would be doing it on that also. Just let me see what can I do. uh, Wait a minute. It would be started somehow. mm, Let me check it. My channel, yeah, it's going on. If it is going on, I would request you all to kindly share it with your friends and your family members and the ones who are in the need of actually learning how to speak English um, fluently, as well as with the excellence in that. And as I will be sharing it on Facebook, you can just recommend your family members and the known ones to get onto that Facebook and get in touch with me. And you can simply uh, just share the link of my class as well. Let me just do it once so that I'll be free from all such things. Yeah. So here we have this, and then once I'll be sharing it, then I'll be thinking that how to do it on Instagram, because I'm not a regular user of Instagram. Not used to that, basically. The issue is that I'm not used to that. So when it comes to like YouTube, I was just thinking that what should I do, like which will make it worth running or worth using further, because I was not getting time because of my busy schedule. Not that much busy, but somehow I'm managing myself. So the things that I actually um, committed and said about, I was telling you that I would be helping you and your kids in learning how to, speak in a better way, the communication in a better manner, how to do that. Alongside, I would be assisting you that how to live independently and what are the things that I'm learning here with my own experience. I would be sharing it, that how you can improve yourself, like what are the different things that actually I confronted with when I came here, and what were those things like which really helped me out and made me like feel better. Just a minute, I'm just doing it because I'm not that compatible with, like, I'm an old school person, so definitely it will take some time for me to adjust with the things that are actually there on Facebook or on anything, any other platform. Just let me just take this, copy this link, and then I'll be posting it to YouTube as well as a post. Yeah. So if somebody is interested to join in for straightforward for the class also, that can come on the Facebook and join me then and there. Yeah, it's running. Post is also created, and alongside I'll be sharing it on different other things, like I would be sharing it on my broadcast that I have created. I'll be sharing. After that, I'll be free and I'll be spontaneous. So sorry for that. Mm, mhm. I'm trying to find it out. I used to actually get perturbed with this, like where I go and what I do. All of a sudden, like if I, yeah, and I'll be just sharing it on different. And I thank all of those who on my first saying have actually listened to what I said. Okay, and I request mm, all of you to join in again for my first session on speaking, which will help your kids. And somehow, if you have a plan to come to abroad, so for those also it would be helpful. Since I'm gonna share some things which will be really, really beneficial. Mm, just give me 5, maximum 5 minutes, and then minimum 30 seconds. I'm trying my level best to actually just share it as much as possible. And if somebody is interested to have my sessions link, then I'll be posting the link on YouTube as well. Mm, how can I do that? In the comment section. In the comment section, I will do that. Just a minute. So there is some issue with the original sound is disabled. Now let me know that if I am audible to all of you. If somebody is there. One is watching. So if the one person who is watching me can let me know that how the things are going on. It's taking a long time. Somehow that's the things these are the things actually which makes me okay. Mukul, my one of the favorite students. Yeah. So how are you, Mukul? First of all, I would like to ask you that how are you? I remember that when I saw you last time, uh, there was a change in you, in your physicality, like how you were looking. So how are you? How's your health? You can send the message in the chat itself if you're feeling fine. I was feeling actually like right at the moment it's 12:30 at night and I'm not feeling sleepy. Uh, so I thought that I should have a session. Yeah. Mukul is fine. Yeah, he's fine. Let me know that if the screen is getting shared or not, because I'm not only going to share the screen but I'll be actually talking to you um, alongside based upon the things that we're gonna work on. So I think something that you can see on the screen is like the great book of American idioms. First of all, we will be like dealing with all of them. Like a few of them we have already started with. We have started doing, and like some of them we will discuss in this class itself. Alongside, we will be start in the PPT form because I did a PPT for that whole course. Let me just go to, yeah, against the clock. I don't know how up to what we have done. Ahead of the schedule. Ahead of the schedule, all Greek to me. Okay. Insult to the injury. Across asset test. Smart cookie. So there are lots of other idioms which are left behind. I would have to actually take a look at them. Yeah, so here we were. So a bit or a little bit, a blessing in disguise, a bone to pick, a breath of fresh air, a bunch of chip on your shoulder, a day late and a dollar short. I think we have done all of them. A doozy, doozy. Okay, we will be starting with that. Okay, but before that one, what we're gonna do is we are going to start our PowerPoint presentation, and that PowerPoint presentation is about your speaking session. Okay, just a minute. Yeah, here we have our PowerPoint presentation. Mukul, what are you doing these days? What are you doing these days? What's going on in your life? Are you in India or you have made your way to your destiny? Like, how is it? I would go for the slideshow. Okay. Here we have the speaking one. I came to Canada in April. Nice, nice. That's what I wanted. Like, you must be okay. You must be feeling like me because I think if you have come in the month of the April, mm, then you are not sleeping at the moment. Same thing. Okay. So, what course have you taken? Everything we will be sharing the information later on. You can send me a message and we will be talking about that. Okay. And I'm thankful that there are other two persons also who have joined. I don't know like who they are. They can actually send a hi to me so that we can further talk and we can converse it alongside. We will be learning and we will be learning like in a different way. Yeah. I really appreciate those moments that I have spent with my students back in Mount Carmel School. Uh, I also appreciate all of those people who have actually motivated me to actually enhance my level and reach to whatever what we say pedestal or whatever platform I have reached. So thanks for being there. I really miss those days when I remember Mukul, Aaron. There were lots of students. One boy from, I think, a nearby village, Gahoon. So he was also there, and I remember them, all of those students, like that particular class and the classes before. It's not like I don't remember all those other classes. I remember all those classes, and especially my first batch, in which I found those gems who are still, like, they're shining. Actually, they're shining. They are already in Canada. And one of the gem that I found was like Jaspreet, and Jaspreet. Before that, there was another batch. I remember that. Like, I don't think so. There is any other batch. I remember like 4 to 5 batches. So those 4 to 5 batches, and the ones who were the seniors of all of those kids, they were all awesome. And that actually, that school brought a lot of change in me, and I appreciate, I am thankful, mm, to all of you, and your giggles, your smiles, um, your participation in the class have provided me enough strength to bear all those odds that came in my life. Whenever I was thinking bad, and whenever I was thinking like low in my life, I was always thinking your cheerful faces. They gave me strength to bear the tough ordeals that I have faced in my life. Uh, we won't be talking about that. We would be talking about something which is very much related to the life. Right at the moment, the kids, you know, they are thinking that how they would be, uh, changing their, how would be, like they would be reaching to the destination, particular destination right at the moment for every like lad or the learner is to reach abroad. They want to have a certain touch to the glory through. Let me just increase the size of my screen so that at least you can be able to see me. Yeah. So what's the thing, the kids are actually, they are so bedazzled and bamboozled, or what we say, they're confused where to go. And the people who are not confused, they have made their way, they have chosen their glory at some place, or they have changed the destination, or they are not lingering around. You know that what I'm talking about. We don't know like what's the future gonna be back in India, uh, but if it is gonna be bad for those who are literate, one who really want to actually excel in the field of education, or who really want to find their way and destiny independently, and they want to actually excel independently, so they have to make a way, like, or they have to pave their own, like what we say that, path, like where they can actually reach to a certain kind of future goal. I don't know like what your future goal is, but basically, I'm focusing in this course on speaking module, and how the things work in the speaking module. We will be talking about that in this particular slideshow. As you can see that, like, it's all about IELTS speaking. So first of all, we should know what's the full form of IELTS. So it's International English Language Testing System. It is a certain system which helps us to know how we are going to be marked, particularly by the international benchmark on our speaking. So that's one of the module which exists, um, for checking the level of the learning that they have gained. And the kids who actually have excelled in the like in the schooling, like they have done their education in ICSE board. If I would be a little, what we say, I would be little slow, then just think like that it is the night time and I am feeling sleepy, but sometimes I feel like I should sleep, and then I feel like I should come in contact with someone to actually pass my time out. But this is not for passing the time. This particular slideshow is for those who really want to actually improve their score, IELTS score, and now or then, like, they will have to actually go by this exam. Like what I have understood from the basic platform, or the basic platform of English learning, as per what my experience speaks, you just need somebody to talk to. That's it. Then you can actually improve yourself. And then, like, the first thing that comes into play is who can speak. Like, who are the people who can actually bring changes in themselves. Like, there are people, like back in India, whom I would say, like, they would be a complete Punjabi speaker, and they don't want to actually change themselves. They want to say that, like, we love Punjabi. By heart, I would say that I also love Punjabi. But when something is required for actually reaching towards our destination, if I would be particularly speaking about my experience in Canada, with the people whom you talk to, like, for example, if your manager is Punjabi, then obviously the person is going to use Punjabi with you, and then there you have to speak Punjabi with the person. But when it comes to any foreigner or the person who is from a different origin, because it is a multicultural country, then definitely you have to actually change your mode of speaking. In that case, the speaking is required. It can be broken. I was telling you before also, when I was in India, I was telling you continuously that, yeah, you have to start with a broken English, and with the passage of time, it will be improved. It will be improved, and they don't require you to master English, particularly in Canada. Specifically, if we talk about, different provinces, they speak informal English. They do not put you into a jail, or they do not put you into the custody of English. They want you to actually exercise the communication skills, at least for the sake of actually communicating properly. So I would request the one person, whomsoever it is, like, should share this live stream with the friends. Yeah. So what I was talking about, who can speak English? Anyone. So it's important to cater to the beginners as well as for the advanced students. As per my say is concerned, if I have to take care of, I have to take care of a beginner as well as those students who are advanced. So I'll be keeping all, like, my focus on all of them. It's not like only the advanced speakers I would be keeping in my mind. I would be keeping others also in the mind, like those who really want to actually improve from the beginning itself. The process of the beginning, um, you know is very, very, what we say, that congested. I would say that it's a very narrow road. What we say, if you have seen the signs, driving signs, in that one there is a narrow road sign. Okay. And that narrow road sign used to be, same thing in your English speaking. So when it comes to those beginners, they have to do a lot of hustle. I must tell you that, if they really want to improve themselves. Otherwise, when you come to Canada, like, even the person, like, I was talking to, yeah, like, Mukul must be there. So Mukul also must have experienced the same. Like, when we come to Canada, we don't require any preparation. Here we are actually preparing day in, day out. We are meeting people, and as we are meeting people, then definitely our improvement is certain. It's clear that we are going to improve with the passage of time, and you don't require that 30,000, 40,000 to pay and then prepare and give the exam. So you never need to like do that thing. Even if you are in India, like those kids who really are good at studies, who are scholars, they don't require the preparation. They simply have to sit in the exam and give the exam and just get rid of this. Like, I would tell you the real thing. Like, the real hustle starts when you reach Canada. When you start your life in Canada, there are lots of stuffs like which come into play, like, and you start enhancing those skills. Let's move on. Like, we will be focusing on the beginners, we will be focusing on the advanced, we will be focusing on those who are in the middle of or who are intermediate. Okay, now the thing is, like, what are the different points that you should be knowing and you should know. Sorry, let me bring my annotator some other place. Yeah, so here are the things, like, what comes first. There are like, first of all, three parts. Your three parts are just a minute, let me take. Yeah, so there are three parts. Okay, part one is about your introduction and your knowledge regarding yourself and your liking, dislikings and all that, and part two is about the cue card, and part third is the discussion. We have three parts, very simple one to go by. Part one, that is your introduction, your knowledge about yourself, how much you know you, so that comes in this. Okay, and then comes the second part, that is a cue card, which is like done differently by different people. Like, I used to teach 2 to 3 strategies to deal with this. One is by the brainstorming, and other is by making the spider diagram. And if you make that, then you will be experiencing a great change in you. Like, if you will be making it in your mind itself, it's much better. But when you write something on the page and you are able to see it, and then you speak, because in the exam you are allowed to sit down and you are allowed to make eye contact. It's not your IAS exam, it's not your like civil services exam where you are told to make eye contact all the times. It's not like that. So when it comes to your speaking exam, you are free to see down and see the question again and try to actually phrase something so that you can make connection between the different points in the cue card. We will be talking about that later on. So then thereafter, like, the third part is about the discussion. Any topic that would come out of the cue card part would come as a larger portion, larger chunk in the, like, the third part. There would be lots of questions. What is your viewpoint about this or that? It's like dealing with the like second task in writing exam. Same kind of stuff is there in your speaking part, like third. So you have to elaborate your answer a little bit, not that much as much you do in your writing exam. So here you have to do that. Here you have to actually explain a little bit about your perception and why your perception is like that, why your viewpoint is like that. Okay, and if you don't explain that one, then definitely it's a negative point, and then definitely you will lose some marks. And adding to that, let me tell you, I'm refreshing things right at the moment. Let me tell you, there are lots of things. There are lots of things that I was teaching my students back there in India, when I was actually taking the classes and I was dealing with them. Then I was trying to tell them the different kind of constructions, different kind of statements to speak, the complex statements to speak, or the the kind of constructions to use, or the kind of connectors to use to connect the statements. And the most important element I was telling them was to put in some flavor of idioms and natural idioms. It should not be like the vague one. Your use of what we say, the idioms or the idiomatic expressions must be natural one, should not be vague one, should not look like that you're trying to fix it up or make the use of it in your questions. So there were steps, and I was telling my students about those steps very clearly, very neatly, that how they need to actually prepare these points. And as per the grammar was concerned in them, then I was telling them as like all those points as well. So let me just take a look at that. So here we have introduction and the personal information, anything that is related to you, and how to introduce yourself. Whenever you're introducing yourself, it is not like you're giving an interview. It's not like that. So here you're expressing yourself, that who are you? My name is Himanshu Datta, and like the lots of other stuffs. Just a minute. Yeah, who are you? My name is Himanshu Datta, and I am from this or that place, and as per my family is concerned, or whomsoever is my family, then regarding my family I would be talking about that. Okay, whether it is a nuclear family or a joint family, you would be talking about that, and you should know about. I'm not saying that you have to speak all those questions continuously. So I remember in 2007 when I started teaching, I was in the senior secondary class. After my senior secondary classes, I started taking classes in one of the institute back in 2007. I remember that. So there the kids were told and taught in a different way. What they were doing was they were being given a long introduction, in which they were actually trying to contribute to every portion of the question in one go. My name is Himanshu Datta and I am from Balachor, which is in the northern state of Punjab in India. And then thereafter, like regarding my education, I have done my bachelor's, I have done my master's, I have done the TESOL certification, lots of stuff, and continuously they were told to do that. My likes are that I don't like politics, I love rapping, I love this or that. My aim is to become, at that time my aim was to be in the Indian Navy, and or one other option was to be in Indian Army. So like we were told to actually teach the kids that they have to prepare all the things all together. It was not like that. It comes in bits. Like your speaking test is not like that. Speaking test is natural. So if it is natural, they are not asking you the questions which are predetermined, and they would be simply asking you like those normal questions would be very easy to understand and easy to go by, and you can easily answer them. The first thing that obviously which would come into play, my full name is this or that, I'm from this place, that's it, it's fine. Okay, you can be short. It should not, like, you need not to give the supporting argument for such questions. So when you are told to support your ideas, you should know that what is the question being asked. Okay, first of all, the thing that must come in your mind is what kind of question is asked from me. Okay, if the question is quite pure, or and you know that it is quite innocent, a question can be innocent as well. Let me tell you, a question is very innocent. Here you see that how to introduce yourself. If somebody is asking you, like, talk about your family a little bit. Well, as far as my family is concerned, I am from a nuclear family. I have my mother and my brother. in that. Alongside, I do have a beautiful wife with my daughter. So that's all. So that's my family. That's the nuclear one. It's not a big family. Nuclear family, that means only those who are linked up with me. Even to make it more nuclear, if I would say that, I would say that like only my wife. Okay. If I would have to link it up like my cousins, my cousin brother, and if I'm going above the blood relations and or beyond the blood relations, then that would be a large family. So I need not to talk about that, and even I need not to name them. Okay, first of all, I need not to tell them that what is their profession. If I am telling the profession, then what's the need of it. I should know that whether it is required that I should tell them what's the need of it. Like if I would be telling them my brother is an advocate, they don't give a shit about it. No, they don't give a hack about it. What would they do with that? So they want to know me. So what I am doing, that's more important, and what's linked up with me, that's more important. What's linked up to the next person in your family, it is of no significance to them, it's of no value to them. So instead of doing that, what you have to do is you have to stick with only and only with your family. Okay, and only with yourself. Sorry, I'm really sorry for that. You have to stick with yourself only. Okay, and same kind of thing is with the hometown. Okay, and if you're gonna talk about, you're gonna brag about a lot of things about your hometown, that's not gonna serve. Whatever you speak has to be qualitative, and if you don't speak qualitative things about your hometown, then definitely you're not actually proposing a better picture before the examiner about your hometown. So why you like your hometown, those questions are actually sub questions. The supporting idea should come in a different way. Okay, so those all those things are really beneficial to actually work on. So personal background, okay, and whatever your background is, and discussing hobbies. What are hobbies? Okay, the person who is in the chat can write it out in the chat publicly. You know, you can write it out that what is your definition of hobby, if you want to write like with the audio. You can type it down. If you have gotten an iPhone, let me tell you, I haven't gotten any iPhone even when I actually reached here, and even now I do not have it. I'm just thinking that to just go with the pace of life. So I would be requesting you if you will be able to write it down, and what is hobby accordingly you. Are you able to write? If you are able to write, what is your hobby? No. Okay. Hobby is something that interests you. Hobby is something, yeah, like you do with affection, with love, and you don't feel bored when you're dealing with your hobby. Like you're in, it's like passing your free time in a valuable asset, as a valuable asset. You're not wasting it in any sense. You are utilizing it in motivating yourself to do something great. Okay, and then interest, that comes interest, and the favorite activities. Whatever hobbies you have, those are one of those interests that you have. you know and there is also like favorite activities like bungee jumping, scuba diving, you know river rafting. Lots of other activities are there which can be your favorite activities, or you can say that kite flying, that can be your favorite activity. My favorite activity is to play chess, which I'm not actually enjoying these days because I'm playing it online, and usually the computer used to beat me up, uh, making their own rules and regulations, making its own rules and regulations. So I don't like that. So then thereafter, daily routine. Daily routine, you know starting from the morning till the night. Right at the moment, I told you it's 1 o'clock at the night, but still I'm awake because the schedule is like that. So one should wake, like one should be awake early in the morning at 4 or 4:30. I have the alarm, and my sleep is like that. I'm sleep deprived person. So I'm a sleep deprived person. I don't like it. I don't like to sleep. I'm just having my dreams. Oh, I read somewhere in a hospital. It was, I think, in Namashahar. I read that in the hospital that one should see the dream with the open eyes. Then they can be accomplished. Then they can be accomplished. So when you have a vision, actually, like that speech of Arnold that comes before me, like when I say when you have a vision, or even you know former like president, like late president Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. So he spoke something about the vision, and I also remember one of my student who gave the speech uh, on the same. Okay, and I remember the speech that was given by Mukul as well. I remember that. So I really appreciate all of those days actually, which motivated me to actually continue speaking English. And still, I believe that lots of lots of youngsters have to make their way or pave their way using this same. Okay, so on a daily routine, in my daily routine, I do only teaching, and I also work at some like store. Alongside, I go for classes. Lots of things are there. So I'm just giving you a brief picture of that one, what you have to speak. But how we need to speak is a different art. Okay, how we need to frame our statements, what statement should come first and what should come last. That all comes into a different. What is that? Like, I got a message on the WhatsApp. Thank you, G. Okay. So yeah. So continuing with that, like what I was saying, like describing your typical day. Then you have to describe your typical day lifestyle. Sorry. This very beautiful word, lifestyle. Lifestyle. Your lifestyle can be quite interesting, can be boring, can be sedentary lifestyle, or can be quite active lifestyle, and quite like you're using your physicality a lot. Lifestyle can be boring, can be interesting. How interesting it can be? It can be interesting in a way that it is accordingly you, whatever you are dealing with, you are dealing with all such things accordingly. You need not to be adjusting yourself accordingly somebody else. So lifestyle depends upon person to person. My lifestyle is, I'm fine with my lifestyle, like whichsoever it is, and whatsoever I have gone through, I'm still happy. Okay, life is about living. Life is not about actually just pondering over something which is bad. So describing your typical day, how typically you spend your whole day, the journal day they are talking about. So you should know about the things related to the journal day. Whatever happens in that day, you should know. You should frame questions. One of the way that we were actually trying to make students think about questions was this. We were telling them to make questions on their own. On particularly one activity was reference to context. So we were giving them the chapter and telling them to make questions, and we were telling them to make questions. So as they were making questions, they used to create lots of stuff. They used to create, they were told to actually make questions on when, where, how, why, and all that stuff. So kids were brainstorming a lot, and that was the way we were actually trying to make our students ready for our for any of the exam. It was not only keeping in the context of the like the IELTS exam, it was for any other exam, any other English exam. They were being ready for that. They were made ready for that. Okay. um, then talking about your morning and the evening routine, like how you spend your morning and how would you spend your evening when you wake up. um, what do you do in the morning? Do you drink like a cup of coffee, or you drink 2 glasses of water in the morning, or lukewarm water in the morning, and you freshen up, and then you try to actually start your day by doing some exercise or jogging, a jog a bit, and then thereafter you come back and take your bath, do your obeisance, take the name of God, spend some time in the name of the God, and then come to the point. Then you will come to the point. You have your breakfast. After the breakfast, brunch. So then lunch, then your whatever dinner and all that. Like here, what I have seen is as a changes. Like one of the change that I've experienced over here is like having 2 meals rather than 3 meals. People used to have three like 2 meals here. People are doing it, but I'm trying to make it 3 here also. Back in India, I used to have 3 to 4 meals, but in bits, like small chunks, so that I can actually digest the food and everything. But here, because of the lack of time and the pace is too much in the life, things are like that. Talking about your morning and the evening routine. So what do you do in the evening? In the evening, I remember that what I do is I go for a walk. And at even 10 o'clock there is like brightness, which is more like you are in the daylight. So there's totally different, the experience is totally different. Back in India, when it used to be like the dusk, then we used to go back to a house and just start making preparation for the next day, and the things used to be quite different there. But here the things are like you have to make your food for early morning if you really want to mm, mm, like get up and eat food and then go. Otherwise, what's my routine is I get up early in the morning and I used to prepare my food by myself. So that is one of the touch that I have of independence. I feel myself independent just because earlier everything was done, but only the food was the only element that I was not making. So now everything from the start till the night, and next day and next day and next day, I'm doing it on my own. So I really love it. I really love doing it. I'm loving it actually. So, but I miss lots of stuff. Discussing healthy habit. So in the first part, there would be some discussion on your healthy habits um, related to your life. Everything or anything in the part 1 would be related to you. Healthy habits. What kind of food do you eat? Whether you are a vegetarian or non-vegetarian, whether you are vegan, how you like the food, green leafy vegetables. You talk about chicken, you talk about taste, you talk about different spices, you talk about herbs, you talk about this or that, you talk about lifestyle choices, like how do you speak on all of them. So all such things come into play. I would like to know who is there. Oh my god, I would like to know who is there till now. Is it still Mukul? Now, just keeping in mind, all these questions would be asked to you. First of all, your personal information, your background information, who you are, your family, your hometown, your, like, lots of stuff comes into play. Like when it comes to the hometown or the personal background, your hobbies, your interests, your favorite activities, your routine, your lifestyle, lots of stuff. So people will talk about that, you know. Next is your, in the first part, the other questions which are possible to be asked, you know, like talking about a favorite holiday destination. Okay, that would be, I think, in the second part. Okay, so talking about, for example, you're taking it in for the second part as a cue card, talking about your favorite holiday destination. Which is your favorite holiday destination? That's simple. If the question is asked like that, you would be saying that, like, this or that is my favorite holiday destination. But you won't be talking about like lots of stuff in that. You would be talking about all such things when it comes to the cue card. Which is your favorite holiday destination? When did you go there? Where, like, whom did you go with? And what did you like over there? And what did you enjoy? And what would you recommend that, like, for the people to actually visit that place or not? So all such questions come into play. Just because I told you that we used to teach this thing to the kids. We taught lots of stuff regarding reflective questions and a reference to context, particularly that how to, make further questions from it, you know. Now the one who was available has gone. Okay, we will be focusing on different stuff. Yeah, let me take the spotlight out. Yeah, then is a second, like, question, that is, describe a memorable trip you have taken. Memorable trip would be with your family, with your friends, or somebody who's very close to you. You would be going with them. Okay. Then thereafter, you know, different questions, discussing the benefits of traveling. Discussing the benefits of traveling, like, traveling can give you lots of like innumerable benefits it has. And the traveling will give you the knowledge about the different places, locations, and you would be able to know about the cultures of different places. You would be able to know, like, how do they deal with the different day-to-day situations, life, you know. They would be, you know, talking about traveling. Actually, traveling gives you the pleasure of actually meeting the people. You're going to share your culture with somebody else, you know. And as you're going to share your culture with somebody else, it is like mutually understanding each other, and with the best of time you would understand how to deal with people. So discussing a benefit of the traveling, like, you can enumerate them by saying first of all, secondly, last but not the least, or lastly, something like that you can go by. Okay. and then thereafter like education and work. Education and work, what are the benefits of the education, what kind of education did you have, all such questions. You should actually brainstorm all such questions. For example, if it is education that we are talking about, then education, is a very broad topic. Education can be your private education, education can be the government education, education can be like short term education, education can be long term education, education can be higher schooling, can be senior secondary classes, or education in your college classes. Lots of stuff. That means you're going to talk about education and the work and interrelation between both of them if you can make it. Work can be the people who deal with the work. They can be workaholics. Are you a workaholic? You like to do work? What kind of work do you like to do? Um, do you think that the styles of working have been changed? What kind of styles are now being like used, or are now being in action or fashion? Okay, all such things come into play when it comes to making questions related to all of them. Okay. Okay, just a minute. Now there are different other questions. और भी क्वेश्चंस हैं इसमें, थोड़ा सा हिंदी में आ जाते हैं अभी, क्योंकि अगर हम इंग्लिश ही बोलेंगे तो शायद कुछ लोग हैं जो कवर अप नहीं होंगे. और तो लाइक फर्स्ट पोर्शन दैट आई हैव स्पोकन अबाउट, that was the like how the questions would be and what are the different questions could be in the first part. पहले पार्ट में कैसे क्वेश्चन होंगे जो कि आपसे रिलेटेड होंगे, आपकी लाइफ से रिलेटेड होंगे, जो भी आप कहना चाहते हो मतलब अपने बारे में, व्हाट इज़ योर परसेप्शन अबाउट योर सेल्फ, दैट वुड बी देयर इन द फर्स्ट पार्ट. ओके, इन द फर्स्ट पार्ट दैट कैन बी देयर. उसके बाद आ गया हमारा लाइक सेकेंड पार्ट में आपका आता है क्यू कार्ड. in that part you have to actually be sure about like how you are going to make your answers ready. Okay, one can be like brainstorming, we know that one is brainstorming and other is spider diagramming. Okay, if you can make the spider diagram, that's your choice. So it's all up to you like how you would deal with them. Okay, and then there comes just a minute, the spider diagramming. Like for example, if it is spider diagramming, your answer will be like around a circle and you're going to create a spider for that. Different points you will write around it, and how you would do it, I would be sharing it later on. Like for example, how is there, you would be writing the answer for how here itself underneath that one, only one word. When it comes to the cue card, do not write lengthy statements. Do not write lengthy statements. You have to just write only and only like one word. How, by, like if suppose how he was killed, by knife. And now statement about the state like this including word have to be lengthy, a little of a little length. So if you will be answering the question, then you have to be sure about it that whenever there is any spider diagram, then how you're dealing with it. You are going to make a spider diagram and write an answer for that one. in a different manner. Like for example, the middle word for traveling, for example, the traveling is a middle word, है ना? Okay, so traveling is a middle word. So I would be buying the pen, like pen tab for writing it down. Let me tell you, like for example, traveling is our like we here the question is benefits of traveling. So you will write B1. You won't write benefit number one is or something. B1 benefit. What is the traveling benefit of the traveling? Like culture sharing. Okay, culture sharing. Okay, that is first point. Elaboration has to be from your side. You have to write only one word, and then second is you would know about food. You would know about um, ethics of that area. Ethics. You would know about, you know, dressing sense. You would know about, moreover, like the traveling will give you the pleasure of, you know, adventure. You can do lots of adventurous activities over there. You know, only one word you would write. Elaboration has to be from your mouth. Okay, and if you write whole statements, then definitely you cannot write the whole cue card on the paper. It's very difficult and it is very much an impossible task. So you can't write the whole paper on that, you know, whole paper. If you will write the whole paper on that one, you won't be able to see down there and speak all the things, and it is not possible that in 1 minute you will be able to actually write that much. So only one word and elaboration. And if you want to add connector, like you want to add some crisp to that, and you think that any like something is related to the food that you have in the mind, like what we say about the food. um, I'm a foodie person. For example, if I'm a foodie person, foodie is a different word to be used. Or if I say that health is everything, health is wealth. So keeping in mind, and even people will be able to, you know more about different cuisines, different dishes and the desserts of the places they are traveling to. And not only that, they would be meeting different people then and there in different hotels, different places where they are residing for some time, for their temporary stay. They would be able to actually meet people and greet people also, and would share their culture. So you are going to make a blend between one thing and the other, and all together it will be your whole answer. So blending is very important. It's very difficult task to be done, but somehow can be done very beautifully and easily. You know, it all depends upon person to person who really wants to put efforts in answering the question, let me tell you. But you have to read a lot. Like for example, if you have never heard about the university, then at least first of all you know what is the definition of a university and what the people do about in the university. Like what is school, what is the difference between school and the university. These are the basic common questions, and every child, every kid should know. If that basic education is missing, then definitely the score can be less. Like you won't be able to describe the things properly, and you won't be able to actually put your heart into that. Like if you're putting your heart into your answer, then definitely you will be able to speak naturally. One thing is certain. But when it comes to preparation, kids are always told the shortcut methods, that follow my template, follow this way of writing the answer or speaking the answer, then everything is fine, fit and fine. No, it's not like that. The first thing they actually require from you is being natural in your writing, because you are not supposed to write an essay for, or you are not supposed to give an answer for your formal like workplace, or like formal setting like an academy or a university. You are giving an answer for just the sake of actually providing your answer and giving your viewpoint, and keeping all the things in the mind, you know, the four of the things in the mind, like we will be discussing that later on. like if we'll get a chance to talk about writing as well. So that's what I'm saying. There are lots of things which you can talk about, you know, like talking from the holiday destination to the trip, memorable trip, then the benefits of traveling, education and work, and then you can talk about the university and school, talking about the school and the university, which is your favorite one, like the private institution or the public institution, describing your favorite subject in the courses, like which is your favorite subject. If science is your favorite subject, why science is your favorite subject? Because I learned over there in the science subject only, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction, to every action there is equal and opposite reaction. That means if you have learned something from some subject, then definitely that would be the like talk of the town for you. Like it will be like you would be into it, you know, and you would be able to actually elaborate that much. So you'll be able to actually answer and put some additional statements for your question only and only when you know that, yeah, there are some statements that I can add up with that. So discussing your career aspirations and the current job, like what you want to be and why you want to be that, like how would you reach there, what are the different steps and the sub steps that you have to follow so that you can reach to your aspiration, career aspiration, and what you want to actually achieve in your life in the current job right at the moment what you are. So lots of things. सो देन देयर आफ्टर उसमें क्या आता, और टेक्नोलॉजी एंड मीडिया, इसके बारे में भी बात होती है। दैट व्हाट इज़ टेक्नोलॉजी? टेक्नोलॉजी तकनीक को बोलते हैं। तकनीक मीन्स लाइक एनीथिंग इज़ अ टेक्निक, लाइक conveying your message by the mobile phone which carries the buttons only through the text messages was also a technology, and this is also technology that you are just audio typing or even glide typing. That is also technology. Technology comes in any way, any method or system that was being used, actually that was technology, and that is technology. So media comes into play, like different platforms of media are newspaper, TV channel, radio, bulletins, magazines, lots of stuff, the journals, the library spaces, or any other place where you can actually find information. That is media. Okay, media is in which, by which source you got the information. So that comes into play in the technology and the media. And then thereafter, lots of other stuff, I mean to say. Let me erase that. Yeah, so here we have another thing, that is discussing your career aspiration and current job. Technology and media is done, and then thereafter we have discussing the impact of the technology on society, that how the technology has made a big impact on the society, how the society has gained something from it or has loosened something just because of the technology. Not talking about your favorite apps, applications, websites, and the social media platforms. You would be talking about that. Okay, favorite applications. My favorite application, like back in India, was TED Talks, because I had a lot of time to actually listen to all those videos, and I was teaching my kids using those. Like I was giving them the script also from that, and I was trying to let them have some time to actually get some words out of it. So it was quite experimental kind of time after my school job, and thereafter when I opened my own institute. So it was like quite experimental, and it was quite enthusiastic. Sorry. Then thereafter, website. Which website is your favorite website? Depends upon you, like what kind of material you search on. Okay, and the media platforms, like whatever media platforms, like Instagram, Facebook, sorry, LinkedIn. LinkedIn is quite professional, like Instagram is quite social, and Facebook is itself a social platform. So then debating the advantages and disadvantages of the media consumption, like how, like what are the benefits and the drawbacks of the same media consumption. So there are lots of, actually nowadays, a lot of, and then thereafter, you're gonna see lots of other questions, like, just a minute. mm, and oh, I'm really sorry, for that. Okay. So lots of future topics were open. So now, I don't know, like, what's going on. We'll be keeping in the mind. Yeah, some topics to cover, and starting from the basics to the advanced level. Like, let me just slideshow the same. I hope you are able to see it. I believe so. Yeah, environment and sustainability. How can we sustain it, and what are the different things that helps us to be as a part of the environment, and how environment is important to us. Discussing the importance of protecting the environment, talking about the ways to reduce the pollution and conserve resources. Lots of topics are there. So these are the things like we will be discussing tomorrow. Okay, and now the next thing that we are going to do is this one. Okay, now the first one that is in our today's class. Just a minute. Okay, a doozy. What is a doozy? Doozy means something incredible. Credible, like credible is like something which is vishwasniya, which you can believe in. Incredible is something which is unbelievable. That is something incredible. So a doozy, something incredible, usually in a negative way, but not in the positive way, but in the negative way. So something which is incredible. What's going on? I'm not getting it. So there is some problem with the annotator. I'm really sorry for that. I'm apologetic for that. What I'm trying to find is a new way out. Let me just stop share and do the share again. Yeah, Let me share the screen again with you. Something is wrong with the class. Anyways, so I was trying to tell you that so something which is very important, we will be discussing about that. Like we have done up to a chip on your shoulder, a dime, a dozen, a doozy. We were dealing with a doozy. Okay, if I'll be able to actually share the screen once, let me see that whether I will be able to. Maybe some issue is there. Come on. Actually, there is something like sensitive. My screen has become sensitive, so I'll be orally speaking it, and you will be able to actually. I think so that I'll be able to explain it to you. A doozy is something which is incredible, but in a negative way. Like example is that storm the other day was a real doozy. Was incredible, but in a negative way, but had a negative impact. Okay, I don't think that I will ever forget it. The thunder was terrible. Terrible means which was quite terrifying, something which create terror in your mind and the brain. So that would be like something doozy. Okay. Like the weather yesterday was doozy. I did not like it at all, since it had a lot of storm in that, and also some like thunderstorm, lots of stuff. Like it was quite doozy. It was a real doozy. Okay, doozy is something which is negative and incredible. Okay, the next is the doubting Thomas. What is a doubting Thomas? Like someone who is in a who's a very skeptical person, a skeptical attitude person, like the person who is having the skepticism in himself or herself, the person who would always think and doubt, that would be a doubting Thomas. Okay, who requires strong evidence to believe something. That means person always go for hard reasoning that why something is done. So if you are not able to provide that hard reasoning, you won't be able to, I'll just like do one thing. I'll show captions. Okay, so that at least the people can read. So now what I was talking about, doubting Thomas. Okay, so doubting Thomas is a person who is quite skeptical, quite what we say that who go for logic, as well as who is whimsical in nature, who is always doubtful in nature. One should not be like that. Okay, but people are like that only. Like people believe sometimes, people do not believe sometimes. I have met a lot of doubting people or doubting Thomas. So his nature is quite like he's a doubting Thomas, since he always doubt on what I say, then he always doubt on the people whom meets. Sorry, there is something kind of itchy in my throat. So a doubting Thomas would be the one like who always used to, you know, have a skeptical attitude. Skeptical itself means doubtful attitude. Sorry. Then is far cry from something, like has many differences from something. That means if if you feel that one person is different from the other, totally different from other, then you can say that he is far cry from you. Okay, this movie was a far cry from anything I would like. I just didn't enjoy it. That means something that I really like has lots of differences with something that I saw in the movie. So there I can use that a far cry from. Like his attitude is far cry from your attitude, since he always sees the or looks for the positive things and you always act like a doubting Thomas. Okay, so then is the last one for today, sorry, tonight, actually today, so it's a daytime. We will be talking about independence. After this, a fifth wheel. So obviously we know that to run a car, or a car to run, we need four wheels, and fifth wheel would be the one which is useless and which is unnecessary. We have kept it with us, but it is quite useful actually in real life. It is quite useful when once your one of the car is in like having some problem, or you've inflated or properly not been, is blown out, then definitely you require us like the fifth one only to become the fourth one. At least here it is clear the fifth thing would be always unnecessary. Something, I don't want to be a fifth wheel in your company. Like I just want the main leading role. I don't want to be the fifth wheel. The team decided that additional guest speaker was a fifth wheel and not necessary to include. So sometimes the people are not like invited, but they're still the part of some conversation, so they can be fifth wheel. Don't be a fifth wheel now. If you can say that, like you can say that, you can say it to those people who actually try to interrupt you, or being the part of, they are trying to be the part of the conversation without being invited to be the part of it. So you can say that you are trying to be the fifth wheel, so kindly do not do that. So in whichever sense, thus I think it's a way, like you can apply that in a natural sense. So these were some of the like idioms that for today. Now tomorrow we will be starting from a flash in the pan. Flash in the pan. Okay, now like coming to the point, we were dealing with lots of stuff when when it comes to, lots of problems that came into being, like when it comes to sharing the screen. Now it is working. Now the screen is getting shared also. Once the work is done, everything is running smoothly. So what we are going to do is, like I was trying to tell you that there were, you know there were times when I was feeling quite low in the beginning, but with the passage of time I got to know that, yeah, you have to bear with that, and you have to actually deal with the situations on your own. So I did it. As per the independence is concerned, we can talk about it tomorrow because I'm feeling sleepy. And it's gonna be 2 o'clock at night, and I feel that back in India there is no one who is listening right at the moment. So thank you very much to all of you to be here with me and join me for some time and bring out some of your valuable time to actually see the video. Okay, see my back cover, it's also the same. Things never change, old school. Okay, then for now I would say that bye bye. That independent stuff we can talk later on coming live, and we will talk about that one in a natural sense, not in an educated in an educational stuff. Like we are not going to mix it up. We will talk about it separately. Till then I would say that you just work on the part 1, part 2, and I would be discussing about each of them separately later on, because I would be discussing about all of them separately. Okay, so what you're gonna do in the later on classes is like today we have discussed about the basic topics that we're gonna talk about, but in tomorrow's class we will be discussing about like the first part itself and how you're gonna deal with the different questions and what are the different possible questions that can be asked. Okay, so till now whatever we have done, I hope so that you have understood, and for the future classes, I would say that stay tuned, subscribe to my channel and share it with your other family members as well. I had shared my Zoom link as well. I don't know like why, I think you haven't received it, like all of you. And tell me the exact time like at which you feel, so that the maximum number of the persons can be with me, because in my family today we have 834 I think members, and then I think the number is going to increase as soon as we're going to be continuous and we're going to be like on the target, bang on the target. So thank you very much for the time being.